the end of the 90s didn't just mean saying goodbye to an old millennium. Over the course of the previous decade, Corrie fans had lost some really big faces from the show, like Bet, Derek, Mavis, and, well, even Raquel's Millennium return was sadly just a one-night affair. Today, we're going to be using Corriepedia's Ultimate Character Survey to see who was brought in to replace them in the first decade of the 21st century. There are certainly a lot of names, but does quantity equal quality? Let's find out. Right, on to the 2000s, the new Millennium Gemma, and this is the decade that you started watching it, so I expect you to have no passes on this one. You need to be able to give me a full and frank opinion on every single character on this list this afternoon.
Right, so...
You started watching in 2001. That's when I met you, and I...
Forced me to watch Coronation Street.
Yeah, you've been held in Coronation Street hostage ever since.
Help me, somebody help me. Okay, so... Right, so we're scoring the people based on their entire...
Yeah, the entire run.
...career of Coronation Street, not what was Bethany Platt like as a character in the 2000s, because I would not give her a very high mark.
She didn't have a whole lot
to do.
Because
babies are boring.
Yes, but I think we're mostly pretty much thinking about her comeback in whenever it was, 2015 or so, when she's had more to do. So what do you reckon? What's your gut instinct saying there? She'd have a big story with the grooming.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really like Bethany.
You can say that.
I don't like her at all, really.
Why?
I've just gone off her. I didn't like how she acted with Daniel.
Yeah, she feels like a bit too entitled.
I mean, terrible things can happen to anybody, and I think terrible things happen to somebody who's a bit annoying.
Yeah. I don't think she wasn't as annoying. But she just got it, didn't she? I don't know whether there was a case of overexposure after the grooming story and she just started to grate. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't want anyone to think I'm referring to people who've been in real situations like this.
No, of course.
Of course not. But, I'll give her 3.
Yeah, we're not just rating them on how much you like them, it's also on their perceived importance as well to the show.
She's a very important character.
As a Platt.
So what do you think the score is then?
Yeah, no, that's fine. 3 is good for Bethany Platt. I'll let you have that one.
Now see, Tina is a bit of a more important character, a bit more likeable.
I don't know. I mean, she was at the beginning, but again, a bit like Bethany, really. She grated on me more and more as the years went on. Again, due to overexposure, I really, really enjoyed her when she was going out with David at the beginning, but they just overused her. And then they had that ridiculous affair with Peter, although that did actually end up leading to some quite exciting moments where she was bludgeoned around the head by Rob Donovan.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one, this.
I don't think it's hard. I give her a 4.
You reckon? You go straight in there with a 4.
She's not like she's not iconic for the ages, is she? But
no,
she certainly was a very significant character who was part of some big storylines.
Okay, that's falls
good. And she also is one of these characters who has a quite strong visual impression. She had a look.
Yeah, she did have a look. You dressed up as her one Halloween one time, didn't you? I did, yeah. Bludgeoned Tina McIntyre.
You just need really black eyebrows and hoop earrings and a big bun on the top of your head.
But you also put on some red makeup to show where you'd been hit around the face with the crowbar as well, didn't you?
Yes.
Just to finish off the look.
So people would know.
Yes. Joe McIntyre. Not as important. I quite liked him. He was a bit of a tragic character, really, wasn't he?
Quite a lot of fun, interesting storylines. Remember when he ran into the medical centre and he was trying to steal the drugs and the alarms were going off?
I have to say, that's one of the few things I remember about Joe.
Getting donked on the head by the boom.
Yeah, I remember being bonked on the head by the boom. I remember running into the medical centre, stealing all the medicines. And I remember him getting the Gale Force boat. I don't know whether he did much else that's really stood the test of time for me.
3.
3? Oh, yeah, okay. Important-ish as a significant other of Gale.
Like I said before,
I don't think we could give him any more than that.
Chesney is my litmus test for this, because Chesney I gave a 3. And I can't give Joe McIntyre more than a 3, can I?
But I liked him. He just didn't have a whole lot to do.
Now, I like Clive Russell, but I just remember thinking Phil now has a funny name, and I don't remember much else about him.
They did make the joke that if he was to marry Gail, that she'd be called Gail Nail.
That's hilarious.
Didn't he get
Gail Nail? I don't know who he is.
He was one of Gail's partners, and didn't he get really mad at David one time and rough him up or something? I think he's 2, that's quite generous, I think.
All right. Well,
no,
one
I think 2. Because
I'll give him a 2 because I recognise him, maybe.
More than Susie Birchall, then, you're giving
I don't remember this guy.
Scooter McCuna. That could possibly have been before you.
This sounds like a made-up character that they put into test to see if you know.
No, he was a friend of somebody. Was he like...
Scooter McCuna?
Yeah, Scooter. Whose friend was he? You know what? I really don't remember.
1.
Sarah
Don't know who he
friend,
is.
maybe? Yeah. Somebody's going to tell me, but yeah. Sorry, Scooter. Silly name.
Oh, lovely gay
Ted Page. When are they going to bring him back? Because he's not dead, is he?
I don't know, but they will.
They gave him a mention recently.
He's getting a bit Prince Philippi, isn't he?
He was so nice. There was some great moments there when he
was. For Ted.
I've got a real fondness for him. He's a proper granddad, isn't he?
Very significant character.
No, he had some great moments where he was being friends with Ken, and that was when Blanche was talking about, there's no way any son-in-law of mine's going to be being seen with a homosexual. And then she thought that Ken was turning gay. I don't mind the gays, dear, you never have, but it's when you... no, I can't remember what the end of the quote is.
Yeah, great quote. 1 for the ages.
Are you going to give him a 1 for the ages, or does he deserve a bit more than that?
2.
2.
I was going to say I'll give him a 3.
No, you give him a 2.
No, I'll give him a 2.
Yeah, okay then. Oh yeah, I just don't want you married to one. That was the end of the quote. Classic. Oh,
Graham! I love him so much. I want to give him a 4.
I think everybody who likes Graham thinks they're the only people that like Graham. But I think he's got quite a wide fan base out there from the people who watched Coronation Street in the early 2000s.
Rise up the Graham massive.
He was a bit Eddie Yates-ish, wasn't he, for the new millennium?
The thing
bit of a ducker and a diver.
I don't think it would work now because he was in Years and Years, wasn't he? Craig Gazy. I think he was. I've seen him in something recently where he is older and he still had that same Graham attitude, but I just don't think it would work if they've tried to bring him back now because part of what made him so funny was that it was okay that he was a bumbling idiot, but the older you get and the more bumbling you remain, the sadder it is.
I don't think he was bumbling or idiotic. I think a bit like Eddie. He was smart. He was just
smart.
He come from the he had street smarts. He'd been born on
he had some
from the wrong side of the tracks, and
hilarious quotes. Remember that quote I read out to you that time? That's a really long, involved philosophical quote.
Vaguely.
Right, so I'll give him a 4.
He was great. I would absolutely happily bring him back.
I'd like to see if he
was not in it for long enough, and
I'd love him to come back.
Underappreciated. But like I said, I think everybody likes.
I'd like to give him another crack.
Yeah, definitely. Paul Clayton.
Now, I only know this person because I looked him up for the quiz.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast.
And I recognise his face, but I really don't know anything about him.
No, I mean, I think he ended up being a bit of a wrong one. I think he tried to steal money off of Jack and Vera.
The second generation of Duckworth, but no, the third generation.
Yeah, they really were, weren't they? Tommy, Paul, yeah.
All right, yeah, 1.
1. Sorry, Paul. Well, not really.
Is this Dr. Matt?
No, this is a Dr. Matt. There were 2 Dr. Matts, weren't there? This is the Dr. Matt who he was married to. Well, here we go. 2 of them together, Matt and
Who
Charlie.
The hell is that?
She was a teacher. I think she was an English teacher. He had an affair with Maxine at one point.
Both get 1.
He's what's its dad? Who was the first kid that Maxine had? Was it, or did she only have one? Joshua. He was his secret dad.
1.
1. Yeah. Sorry.
And if I could give Charlie Ramsden -1, I would. I don't know who this is.
I think I'd be generous if I said I didn't mind him, but I really remember not liking Charlie. She was a bit of a snooty cow, if I remember rightly.
All teachers are snooty cows.
Yeah. Oh, now here we go. Now,
yes.
This is back on track. Jason Grimshaw, bring him back.
I'll give him a 4.
Yeah. He was great.
He was good.
He was a bit of a lad, Mr. Gay Weatherfield.
I know.
I think that's what everybody remembers about Jason the most.
I like the fact he was just a dumb beefcake boy.
Yeah, he was.
You don't really have many of those in Corrie anymore. There's nobody really like Jason. The nearest equivalent is probably Kirk.
No, but he was certainly charming as well, wasn't he? He had all the girls falling at his feet. You remember he slept with Gemma at one point just before he left. He did. And I remember him from the Gail and Eileen fight as well, when he's coming down with his builder's hat, and Gail's like, "Here comes the rest of the village people," and he's in that thing with Todd, who I believe is our next character as well.
Yes, now this is difficult.
We are not talking about...
I'm not scoring Bruno Langley.
No, although a fine actor.
Look. I want to give him a 5 because I really, really like Todd Grimshaw.
I think Todd Grimshaw is a fantastic character, but I don't think I could quite put him up there with who we've
give him a 5.
ranked him as a 5. He's not an all-time classic.
Is he?
Exactly. He's no Annie Walker or Dan Ogden.
But it really is. He's a 4.5 for me.
Yeah, we couldn't possibly give him a 3. I think that's I think that's got to be a 4 because he's just not quite. He's not quite there. But had he, been given more of a chance, because he left the show for quite a while as well, didn't he? No. I mean, if
got up to.
No, I'm saying if he had more time on the show and more time to to become a classic character.
If he was still there, perhaps it would be different, is what you're trying to say. And I agree with you.
Given more years, but loved him.
2.
Tony Stewart, 2. I didn't really like him in either of his incarnations, really. Wasn't too sad when they killed him off and piled up his tea bags.
2.
Violet, 2,
Next. Karen!
Oh, it's Karen! Oh, Sarah Jones, blimey.
Oh, God, what do I give
Corrie
her?
certainly launched her career, didn't it?
Yeah.
She was amazing.
I didn't see a lot of her, so what should we give her?
Karen and... I think you must have done. I think you saw quite a bit of her. But it was probably like early on in your time watching Corrie, and you did have a year off when I was living in France. No, you didn't. She was fantastic. Steve has had so many brilliant partnerships over his time. And I mean, I would say it's got to be a 4 for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 for Karen. Loved her. She was really fiery and spiky. She was brilliant. Speaking of Mrs. McDonald's.
I think I might want to give Becky a 5.
You know what? I don't think I would stand in your way of that. And even though I know in the heart of hearts,
and she's
only
not in it for like 3 years.
She was. She had such a short run, and I know deep down she's not up there with some of the Corrie all-time great legends. But
the fact that she was only in it for 3 years and she is still a massive legend, I think, and she had I think she had a brilliant story as a character, and Coronation Street and soaps in general are not concerned at all with character arcs for obvious reasons, but she had one.
Yeah.
And it ended on a high, which is a very rare thing.
Literally, she was jetting off into the sunset.
She had a good final line.
Yeah, she had the relationship with Steve was brilliant. The stuff with Hayley and Roy as well was heartbreaking when she had to move away from them because they had such a bond. I loved her wedding. Well, weddings.
2 weddings, yeah.
She was, I mean, we know that she's never going to come back because, like Sarah Jones, Catherine Kelly has gone on to, bigger and better things. But
what do you mean? There's something bigger and better than Coronation Street. Different things.
I love her so much.
Vernon. Oh my God, Vernon. Vernon.
He was a massive loser. I mean, he was Liz's, follow-up to Jim but he just couldn't compare because Jim was so passionate and hot-headed and fiery, and Vernon was just kind of a nice guy.
Normal.
He was normal, but he was sad, wasn't he? But wasn't he a jummer as well or something?
Yeah, he definitely is one of these people who, again, like Graham to me, feel like they're permanently stuck in adolescence, where they're not really sure what they're doing with their lives, and it's kind of funny and cute when you're 20, but when you're in your 50s and you still
going
don't
through
really
a
know
massively
what's going
midlife crisis, I think, especially going out with Liz, finding this Dolly Bird and
his this outfit that he is in this picture is the perfect Vernon outfit. He was always wearing cowboy shirts and weird.
We made them dress up as cowboys for their wedding, didn't they?
He's a memorable character.
He is,
but he didn't make much of an impact, so I'd give him a 2.
Yeah, he's not left a lasting legacy in Coronation Street, has he, at all? Eve Elliott.
Pass.
Yeah, wasn't she? I think she was one that was vigorously married to Fred, and she tried to take him to the cleaners or something.
No idea.
I'm gonna. Sorry, I might have to give her a 1 because I can't even say anything about her apart from that.
You don't have to score everyone.
I will. I'll score them all for now. Shelley.
This is hard. It's difficult to remember.
It was a long time ago. I mean, a lot of the other ones that we've been rating recently,
the 60s was very recent.
We've seen, and this is a long time since we've seen Shelley. I would say 4 for her. I think we really liked her. She was a strong character. Particularly the control storyline that she was in with Charlie was probably her most memorable, and she left on a bit of a high as well. I liked her feistiness. I think she was a great barmaid a real big presence behind the bar then. And Sally Lindsay, fantastic actress as well. She's gone on to great things as well since Coronation Street. What do you reckon?
Definitely 4.
4. Anything you want to add about her, or was it just too hazy in your mind?
Yes.
Okay, what about her mum?
I like Bev, but I don't. Do you think she should get a 3?
Yeah. I don't have any problem with Bev at all. I liked her, but equally she doesn't, set my pulse going or anything.
Yeah.
She was mostly there as the mum to Shelley, wasn't she?
Yeah,
and she was still a fairly major character.
And I like the actress as well, Cece Blake.
Oh yeah, she was awesome, and it was great to see her come back for Deirdre's funeral as well 5 years ago.
My question is, whatever happened to that lobster mould?
Oh yeah, look, my lobster mould behind her head. Yeah, I can't think of a whole lot she did that didn't involve Shelley.
No.
Again, she might have done, but
can't remember, so she gets a 3.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Bobby Lewis, Factory Girl.
I've got no idea. I don't remember her at all.
Yeah, I think we might have to go
got
down
lovely hair, though.
Down on the one route for her. Sorry, Bobby. Oh god, we got all the. Okay, there's all the Factory lots.
No, I don't remember ever seeing her.
Well, we watched her, and she hasn't left any impression on us.
Legs.
Yeah, here we go.
Now, do you remember that bit we went through in the podcast when we were constantly bringing up Tupele Dorgu?
Yeah, we went through a phase where most weeks we'd mention her for some reason.
Yeah.
Which does go to show that she has left some kind of impression
staying
on us.
power, I think.
I can't particularly remember any decent stories that she was in.
No, I don't think she was in very many stories. She had a good exit.
Yeah.
I think she deserves a 3 because I thought she was great, but she didn't do very much.
No, she had a few relationships with people. She was just, she was an extra at the factory, wasn't she? Do you remember when she came into the show, her story was that she'd been working at the factory for years and it was her last day and she wasn't one of the factory lot. And I feel I've been excluded all these years, and then they invited her into the group and she stayed for, how long was she in it? 2 years? No, 2, 3 years?
But 3.
3, okay, yeah, I think that's fair enough for her. Vicky Dankowska.
Did she die?
No, she wasn't the one that died. That was Cassie, I think her name was. I can't remember. I
remember her really vaguely.
I remember her. She was nice. Look at that lovely smile.
Yeah, she was nice.
Like that. I remember she ended up going back to Poland, and I think at the time I thought, she's going to come back again, but she never did. It looks like 2000s was the decade of.
They were like, let's fill this factory up.
Yeah, it is totally.
I wish they would have bring back Polish characters again. Because where's Alina from?
Romania.
That's right.
But bring back Jan.
Bring back Jan. Loved him.
So 2 for Vicky?
What? Oh.
Or 1?
1, because she's.
I remember I liked her.
I remember I liked her as well, but I don't. All right, 2.
Okay, I'll give her a 2.
Weird. Well, she's not going to win in the end. So
she's not going to come out on top. Oh, Julie. She was great.
I like Julie.
She was fantastic.
I do love Julie.
I can't remember how she came into it. Was she... Because it turned out that she was Eileen's sister or half-sister or step-sister or something, wasn't it? But they didn't realise that at first. Yeah. She was a real breath of fresh air for the street.
It was really fun with her, trying to make a sister relationship with Eileen, who really was not interested, but found herself being won over by Julie's enthusiastic insistence.
She was really enthusiastic and nice and positive.
She's like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
In human form.
She was also great with Brian. I think a better partner to Brian than Kathy is. Yeah, they work really, really well together. Really, real shame when she left. I don't know, I'm not sure what Katie's done, a whole lot what she's done since, really. So bring her back is what I say to that.
She might have other things to do.
She might do. 3, 4, 3?
3.5.
I cannot give a 3. I'm trying to click here. But it's gone to a 3.
Well, then the internet has spoken.
Right, I assume, we're going to have these 2 twins together. So their story was they came in, again, to work at the factory, pretending to be twins, and that was the joke, that they were supposed to be twins, but they didn't actually look anything like each other. And then it turned out in the end they weren't twins, they were cousins, I think, maybe. And then I think Joanne turned out to be an illegal immigrant.
Oh, God. They're not doing very well with black women in this selection, are they?
They're not doing very well with. They're not doing very well with just factory girls who clearly have been brought in just to fill up the numbers,
don't know what they
warm
were
the seats
thinking,
in Underworld.
One.
Yeah, I think it's got to be ones.
I mean, if it was 1.5, I'd give him to him because I actually remember these people. I don't remember the other factory girls.
Really not at all gone down in Coronation Street history.
I still don't really know.
Deb Brownlow is. Yeah, one. Okay, let's move on to the next lot. This is
Gina. Now Gina
Where's
used to be my favourite character.
Yeah, when you started watching it, you really enjoyed
I was like, Gina's the best. I love her so much.
Can you explain why?
No, I don't know why, but I was devastated when she left.
18, 19 years later, not really any clue why you enjoyed Gina. I didn't think I did either. She went out with Dev for a bit. I remember there was a scene when her parents were appalled when they were brought back to see Dev, and it turned out that she was dating an Indian man. But I don't remember anything that Gina did. I mean, I don't think we can give her much more than a 2, do you?
Yeah.
We liked her at the time, but because we can't remember why, let's go to the lower score.
I don't remember anything about Poppy either. I just like her name.
Yeah. But
Poppy Morales.
No, the actress sadly died, I can't remember, 5-10 years ago or so, very, very young. But as for the character herself, we must have watched her, but hasn't left an impression. Got to be a 1, hasn't it?
Oh.
Come on, 2000s. What are you doing?
Not a great crop.
Emma Watts.
Bloody Emma Watts. Give her a 1.
A 1?
Yes.
We remember.
She was boring.
We remember who she was, and I just remember her being terrible.
So boring.
It was after that she came along and worked her magic on Curly. She did. She ruined him.
Yeah.
He was
always Curly.
He was always supposed to be a bit of a dull character. That was his thing, wasn't it? He was a bit of a nerd. But yeah, going out with Emma just dragged him right down, and even he wasn't happy to go off with her in the end. And then when he came back for the Knight's Tale DVD in 2010, it turns out they'd split up, even though they had a child together and everything. But yeah,
boring.
Real mistake introducing that character. It did not work.
Don't know who that is. Never met him in my life.
Wow, we are racing through these characters that have made no impression.
Either.
I think she went out with Kevin for a bit, but I mean, they just got to be ones, haven't they?
Who's that?
He went. Did he go out with Rita for a bit? I mean, I'm confusing him a bit with Ted, but
you don't have to score people if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, you still scoring him a 1?
We watched him. Dennis.
I remember him.
He ended up dying. He was the motorbike guy, wasn't he? He was going out with Janice, I think. And he was a nice guy. I think like after Janice split up with Les, she found the Mr. Right in him because Les was such a waster.
Mr. Wrong.
Yeah, and I think Les was Les trying to kill himself or something, or he was in an accident or something, and Dennis tried to rescue him, but he ended up getting himself injured as well, and then he had died in hospital, so that was tragic. He also went out with Eileen. I think that Eileen and Janice were fighting over him. So I mean, I think maybe a 2 for him because I've got memories of him being a pleasant chap, but not really remembered.
Now Sunita.
At last,
here
we've got
go.
a Sunita, a major character. A hard one, this, because she's had 2 halves, didn't she? And she did go away from the programme and come back for a bit, and I think that in her first incarnation, she was much more likeable. They turned her into a bit of a bitch in the end, didn't they? Especially when they made her have that affair with Carl Monroe.
That was very un-Sunita-like.
Yeah, but she came into the show on the run from an arranged marriage, if I remember rightly, and she was a nice, sweet girl, like beautiful bride for Dev. Then they got caught up in the who was it? Mad Maya was trying to get Dev arrested for bigamy when it was actually her or something. I can't remember, but they had a really nice relationship. Then when it turned sour, Sunita went, she came back again, and yeah, not a particularly nice piece of work. I'm thinking maybe 3 for her. What do you reckon?
Yes, 3.
Sure?
Yeah, I reckon that's right.
Yeah. Tragic end. Exciting end.
Sad.
Burnt to a crisp.
She wasn't burnt to a crisp.
No, she wasn't. She had her
She was
oxygen tube
suffocated.
pulled, wasn't she? Yeah.
She wouldn't wear her face mask.
Speaking of characters who we used to like and then
Went wrong.
yeah, Amber.
Went sideways. She was cool, and then she went to university and she got ideas above her station.
She did, basically. Didn't she try to steal Sian away from Sophie as well at one point?
I think that Amber is rife for a recast and return.
I don't even know whether she needs a recast. I didn't have
No,
any problem with
I
Nicky's
don't have any problem with her
portrayal of
either.
her.
No, I don't have any problem, but I would love to see her come back and shake Dev's world up.
Well, yeah, especially because the Allahans are on a bit of a revival at the moment,
And don't you
aren't
also
they?
think it'd be really good for Asher to have an older, like, female figure in her family to say, you know...
I can totally
your
see
socks up.
Amber leading Asher astray, though.
Well, yeah, probably right.
Makes
But
me
it would have
wonder
been nice if she had, when she was struggling with her self-image, she had Amber around to say, "You're beautiful as you are."
Yeah. 2?
Oh, 2?
Yeah.
Okay, 2.
Because we really didn't like her in a comeback. and she's
but we didn't.
Not major
The
at
reason
all.
we didn't like her was because she changed so much from the first time when we did like her.
Yeah. But if I'm thinking about her, general importance to the show,
All right, yeah,
I can
2.
give her
Fine.
yeah.
Most people don't probably remember who she is.
I like this actress. She's got an interesting face. Does Asher?
I don't know much about this character, but I remember her being in it.
Yeah, she went out
she
with
one
Dev.
of-
I think that wasn't
She one
wasn't
of
this
Dev's
part of the
shop
storyline.
girls?
No, I don't think so. I think this is part of a storyline where Dev was dating her and then dated her mum as well, who
Oh
was
my
that
God.
Bollywood film star.
Is she in it? Is she
I think
down there?
I think that I'm not sure whether she was ever a regular. It might have been down to her that Dev had that big naked poster of him
Oh.
outside the flat. So
Well, I
she
still
was
can't
like
give her a very high mark.
No.
Because I don't. Shouldn't make her.
I'm going to give her a
2.
a 2 seems right for
Oh,
her.
I like the next one.
Uncle
Uncle
Umed.
Umed.
I can't even believe he made the regular
I love
characters
him
list.
so
To be
much.
honest,
He's so funny.
he's the epitome of
I
a
wish
bit character.
I wish he could be in it more, but he can. I'll give him a 3 because I really liked him.
Yeah,
He was not in it very much at all. He
it's
made
generous.
no
I
impact
mean,
on anything.
He made no impact, but he was in the show. He was just great. He was
Didn't he
hilarious. But
mess up the doorbell?
Yeah, I remember all I remember is there was a story when he wanted to have the doorbell play in the cabin, not the cabin, sorry, the corner shop, play a funny little tune instead of the normal ding. I could totally see how he would wind an awful lot of viewers up because he was put in there as a comedy character. I think he's gone on and sort of acts in quite a lot of other things. I think I've seen him in some adaptations of David Walliams' books as well.
Really?
Yeah, so he's not dropped off the acting scene.
3,
has Harish.
please, next.
But, oh yeah, good character, Uncle Umed, and he is still alive, isn't he? When Dev went to India
Umed.
last year, wasn't
went-
it because Uncle Umed was on death's door, but then it turned out he was fine in the end. So
Sounds
bring
like
him
a
back.
very Umedy thing to do.
Oh, Roy Hudd.
Oh, Archie Shuttleworth.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so sad to talk about him.
4.
He was a really, really strong character. Not in it much again. He had a couple of years, didn't he?
You don't have to
But
be in it a lot.
He did. He had such he made such a brilliant impression when he was here. He was a bit like we said for Ted, a really lovely older gentleman. He had his catchphrase where he would guess everyone's height because he could measure them up for their coffins. He had a great double act with Blanche.
Our coffin's really bespoke in that
Laura and
manner.
Weatherfield.
I just think it's one size fits all, isn't it?
I don't know. Only if they, chop the ends of your legs off or something. 4 definitely for him. He was wonderful. Who is next? We have got Tommy Harris.
Oh, Tommy Harris.
Wrench to the head.
Wrench to the head. You're too.
I mean, a lot of the Harris clan, who I assume we're going to be coming up to next.
They're all
is
just threes
Angela.
to me. I like the story. It's like they never existed.
I
don't care. It's my scoring now.
I would maybe go
Threes.
for 2s.
I don't care what you say. 3, 3, 3, 3.
Dead.
Dead.
Prison.
Prison, yeah. Surprised Yasmin hasn't met
Oops,
up
oh
with
my
her.
gosh, spoilers.
You've ruined it. See,
Katie
I really... Katie, now, I liked her.
went out with Martin for a bit, didn't she? Trying to
See,
trick him into getting pregnant.
If I was scoring half
That
marks,
makes it
then
sound like Martin was getting pregnant.
the mum and dads would have got 2.5, and the kids would have got... Well, Katie would definitely have got a 3.5.
Yeah, but she's not a 4, is she?
No, she's not.
really not a 4. And Craig...
Richard Fleischman. I have strong memories of him.
Yeah, but he's also one that we get confused with Daryl Morton,
Yeah.
just for being generic next door team boy.
Team
at number
boy
6.
next door. 3. Just
3.
give him a 3.
Now this was another relation to the Harris family. I think he was one of their dads. I can't remember, Angela's dad maybe, and I think he maybe went out with Audrey for a bit. They tried to keep him on once they left the other characters in the family when they left, but he didn't.
I don't even recognise him.
Yeah, 2, 1.
I don't recognise him.
Sorry, Keith. Yeah.
Sorry,
not very exciting. Aidan Critchley.
See, I don't remember him.
He was the
annoying one, wasn't he?
He was the one who Ken Barlow punched, so he must have been pretty annoying. And that's why Ken's not a teacher anymore. Did you tell me
that that's what Richard Hillman dressed up as?
Yeah, Richard Hillman tried to frame Aidan when he went round and clopped Maxine on the head.
No, I don't know who he is.
1, 2.
Well, I don't.
Minor.
1. I don't know.
I would maybe be voting him too, but that's maybe just because I'm remembering the Richard Hillman story, but it wasn't anything to do with Aidan himself.
Again, I don't know who
Harry
this guy
Flagg,
is.
Potman, no personality, I have to say. Generally nice guy.
No Fred G.
He was no Fred G. Lucy Barlow.
Well, that's Thingy's mum. Peter.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Of course,
Florist.
it's that Lucy.
Yeah.
Again, am I remembering the character or remembering the story? Because I remember the story was really exciting to watch. And having Peter going back between his two wives, and the moment when Lucy and Shelley walk into the Rovers to reveal to Peter that they both know.
Lucy was dull. I wouldn't have married her if I was Peter.
That was all about the plot and not about the character.
And she could do flowers.
1.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at the name this next one, and I'm thinking, am I going to remember what this person looks like before we scroll up? And I'm struggling here. Mick Hopwood, what does he look like?
Who? He looks like a guy. He looks a bit like what's it, Barrymore?
I think
what's his name?
Michael Barrymore.
He looks a bit like Michael Barrymore.
I see what you mean.
Hard brother.
Did he go out with Janice for a bit, maybe?
Don't know who he is.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have to score everybody.
It's really interesting. It's funny that we've got, I think there's like 3 pages worth of characters in the 2000s, which is the most so far. And it just goes to show that if you throw characters at a programme, they're not necessarily going to stand the test of time at all. They come in for a little bit and out, shake it all about. Sorry, Mick. Oh, Kieran. Now, here's somebody we do remember. Mostly because he was played by Keith Duffy, who was in Boyzone, wasn't he?
Boyzone.
Yes, famous British boy band. He was great. He was a nice charmer. I know it's cliche to say, he had a full of Irish charm, but he was. He completely encapsulated
if the Irish want us to stop stereotyping them as charming, perhaps they better stop being so charming.
He was. What did he do though? What was his stories? Sunita, Michelle.
Michelle, and singing and boozing with Peter. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he was just hanging around the bar, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a barfly.
Nice guy. I can't say I've got massive memories of.
He was a cook in the Navy.
Yeah. Oh, bring him back. I did wonder when they got rid of Michelle recently whether they were going to have him come back in.
Oh, I'm surprised she didn't go off with him, because it would have made sense, because they wanted to go off on singing on cruise ships, I thought.
And they did at one point.
And they really could have made a good career out of that, because it's that one off that band and that one off the other band.
Yeah. They could have... I wonder whether he would have wanted to come back.
Just singing duets from Greece on cruise ships for 20 years.
Patrick Tussell. Now, he worked at Streetcars.
I vaguely remember his face.
This is really stretching the limits of what counts as a regular character, isn't it? It's Corrie that decides. It's not Corriepedia or anything like that. But
one. I don't know who this is. Again.
Yeah, remember his face, but that's why I don't think he did anything. He literally drove taxis or sat on the switch at Streetcars when Eileen wasn't around. There we go.
Yeah, Craig
Lloyd Milano, brilliant character.
I liked him.
Still one that when I look back on him, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, I can't believe he was actually in it. This guy who I absolutely loved as a young boy growing up watching Red Dwarf, Craig Charles, to have him in Corrie for 8-9 years maybe.
Can you imagine if we had...
It feels like it never happened. It felt like it was a dream.
Can you imagine how gushing you would have been if we had been doing the podcast when he joined, and how much you would have gone on about how excited you were.
I really was
and
excited.
How excited you would be if you ever got to interview him.
I
You
know.
should see if you could get an interview with him.
And then in the end they paired him up with Andrea, didn't they? Who was a really divisive character. Lots of people hate Andrea, but we love her, and I think they made such a wonderful couple. But sadly, that kind of spelled the end of Lloyd, and they went off to live in the Channel Islands together, didn't they? With a baby. I think Hayley to Madam would come back to Coronation Street in a heartbeat if they asked her, and if the stories were right.
Because she is divine.
I don't know about Craig Charles. He's doing his best off again still.
Back.
He was so fun. Brilliant stuff with Steve at Streetcars. I agree.
Steve works very well universally with almost any character you throw at him. But he and Lloyd had a very special friendship.
Yeah.
So they've kind of recaptured it with Tim. There's a different dynamic, but I really miss Lloyd being.
There is a different dynamic, but the fact that we are not massive Tim fans just means that we're never quite going to like Steve and Tim as much as we like Steve and Lloyd. I liked Tim
when he was first in it, Michael.
Yeah, I know. Bring back Lloyd.
Claire, I like Claire. I love how badass she left the show. Like she's on the lam still in France.
She's in France still.
For what did she do?
She punched Tracy Barlow or something.
Brilliant, nice one. Look at her little sweet face. You'd never think of her. It's this little meek mousy babysitter girl.
Yeah, come bus driver.
Yeah.
I found Claire pretty bland, to be honest.
Oh, I liked Claire.
She was no Emma Watts, but it was somebody following up from Maxine, and I really did ship, sorry to use the term, Ashley and Maxine, and it was as exciting as it was tragic when
you can't be married to a dead lady.
I know. She just couldn't replace him. Sorry.
I like Claire. I liked Claire because I liked her voice. I thought she was a little. She reminded me of like a little Emily, actually. She's quite similar in that people kind of take her for granted and dismiss her because she's petite and sweet, but
she could be a firecracker about things when she needed to.
Yeah, really, she really did.
Yeah.
I'll give her a 4. I like Claire Peacock. Wow. I don't care what you think.
I think when I did this, might have voted for her for a 2. Well, she did not work for me.
Well, I think she probably deserves a 3, so there you go.
Well, do you want me to give her?
No, it evens out. If you gave her a 2, I'll give her a 4. She gets a 3 in the end, doesn't she?
But do you want me to vote a 3 or are we giving voting a
4?
Because this is yours, we're scoring it, I forget, okay. Sila, classic.
4 as well, because I didn't really like her, but she was iconic.
She was a real powerhouse of a character. Anyway. You're not supposed to like her, but I mean, all the things that I remember with her
all
and
Chesney.
There's the sunbed stuff. There were the scenes with her and Lana, the partnership there working at the chip shop, dragging Chesney down the road, going Uncle Les. She was such a
selfish
nasty.
Witch.
She was, and. I mean, she was kind of the replacement Janice, wasn't she? She was supposed to be, but she put a different spin on the character.
Wendy Peters is so good at playing her. We'll pretend that she never came back, and we'll just say
that little comeback didn't quite work the last time she was in it. But yeah, 4 definitely. The wedding, brilliant character. Penny King.
Don't know.
Now she was the wife of Preston King, who was the boss of King's Robes, a rival or a supplier or something that worked with Underworld.
Bloody name for
They gave King's Robes a shout out at some point the last time.
Stupid name.
I think she went out with Mike for a bit. I think she might have been going out with Mike when he succumbed to his Alzheimer's, and he was calling her Alma and stuff sometimes. But apart from that,
pass.
1. Sorry, Penny. Danny Baldwin.
Oh, see, I quite like Danny Baldwin. I liked all the Baldwins, but like the London Baldwins.
Well, we've got a couple of them coming up, haven't we? I assume
Frankie! It's such funny. It was so funny. It's like EastEnders tried to invade Coronation Street very briefly.
Danny Baldwin was a character that was invented via retcon means, wasn't he? Because who was he? He was Mike's nephew, and he was supposed to be the son of a brother that Mike hadn't ever had before or something. I can't remember, but he was quite fun. I didn't love him. He didn't really grow on me, but he was all right, and he did have that same charm as Kieran
I really
McCarthy.
only have a very small misty memory of him, but obviously Bradley Walsh is massively rated here, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
people
yeah.
love him. He's
I don't think we could.
He's not quite Danny Dyer, but he's the closest thing Coronation Street had.
I don't think we could give him more than a 3, could we? What about Frankie?
See, I liked Frankie, and I liked Jamie. It was all so stupid.
Do you remember when those two had
it was ridiculous.
Mum and stepson.
Yeah, what a stupid story. It's brilliant.
Like, we can't do actual incest, but...
For that story alone, I think they get 3s. I remember, Jamie Baldwin in his hair is he's like one of those poodle dogs.
I would say a 2 for him.
Well,
he's off. We went off with violence in the end, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. You can give him 3. I'm just saying what I would have said, which leaves us with Warren Baldwin, the up-and-coming football star. I think he's gone down as the least well-remembered Baldwin.
Well, certainly with me, he has.
Yeah, 2 we'll give him, as we were somewhat rating the Baldwins. And now on to the final page of the 2000s.
Ronnie Clayton.
Gangster's Mole, wasn't she?
I knew you were going to say Gangster's Mole. You love saying Gangster's Mole.
Oh, she was.
You're the only person left alive who says mole unironically.
Did she go out with Steve
Whose
for a bit?
mole is she?
You know, gangster.
Who?
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember either.
She either went out with Steve or Lloyd or something. I remember there was some car chase involved. These,
don't know. She's very pretty too.
Okay, fine.
I like her hair.
Diggory Compton. So this was an attempt to bring a Fred-like character into the show. I can't remember exactly when he started.
Baker, wasn't he?
He was a baker in the bakery that's now Prima Donna.
Yeah.
But they desperately wanted to replace John Savardand. I think I'm right in saying that he came not long after they killed Fred off. But he didn't last for long, did they? I can't remember much about him or what his personality was like.
No, I don't remember much about him.
The Comptons it was Molly who came after. Or I don't know whether... Yeah, it must have been.
So this was Molly's dad, wasn't it?
This was Molly's dad.
One, I don't know, one.
Yeah. It's weird because Corrie can be really good at this type of character. You know, the caricature sort of characters. Corrie's history is replete with them.
It's so easy also to make a shopkeeper into one of these characters because they're in every scene that's set in that shop.
Yeah.
And they can just interject with a stupid comment.
Yeah, but... Yeah, seriously, didn't work. Molly.
Evil witch.
Only at the end she was lovely, wasn't she? When she first started going out with Tyrone, that was that stupid storyline that turned her that way, where she started doing her jogging, going out with Kevin, and that was just icky and weird and wrong. But tell you what, she has got one of the best deaths on Coronation Street.
Oh, her and Sally.
Sally underneath the wreckage of the tram crash in the shop.
Me.
that was also. It was a bit like, we said that the Tina and Peter story was ridiculous, that affair, but it had a brilliant ending. But this, eclipses it, I have to say. It's hard to rate her because
I'm gonna give her a 3.
Yeah.
Because I liked Claire.
Claire?
Claire, so I'm comparing her to Claire Peacock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They were both unassuming, sweet girls.
Well, I think actually...
then she went bad.
I think she came in and she was bad, because she came in and she was horrible to Fizz. I think the story was that Fizz had bullied her at school, hadn't she? So she came in and was horrible to Fizz.
Yeah,
and then we realised why she was being so antagonistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they toned her down, put her together with Tyrone, worked really well, and then the stupid affair storyline came along. She could have been up there as a 4, to be honest, if they hadn't ruined her with the Mulvin story, but they did.
What can you do?
Auntie Pam!
Auntie Pam! I love Auntie Pam! Bring me a sandwich! Oh, I'd love to buy a sandwich from your basket.
What did she do apart from that? She was a bit...
Oh, I loved her.
She was a bit Grahamish as well, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. She's always had a scheme on. She's a bit like Bernie Winter, but
less crude.
But less stupid as well. Like, her schemes actually worked to some extent.
Yeah.
Like Bernie's plan, as she tried to sell sandwiches, would be to make them out of washing up sponges or something to try and save money.
Yeah. Oh, she was great. I love that actress. Do you remember when she popped up in that episode of Game of Thrones?
Yes! We were like, oh, it's Auntie Pam! Oh, she's bringing the refreshments.
Sadly, once Molly succumbed to the tram crash,
I know, I was gutted.
Disappeared away, didn't she?
I was like, can we please keep her in it? Because
she actually left with Bill Webster, I think, didn't she? She went off to Germany with him.
Yeah.
I think they have since split off screen. She
I loved
very
her.
occasionally still gets a mention. I think
I think we mention her more than anybody.
To Jack about her.
4. I love her.
4, seriously.
I don't care what you say. This is my scoring.
Wow.
Because she's a 3 character.
I would say she's a 2 character that we like enough to put her up to a 3.
Well, I'm saying she's a 5 character. I'm going to give her a 4 out of respect.
Oh, I love Auntie Pam so much. Nathan, I guess
remember.
by his attire he was a mechanic. Did he have off with Sally
I
maybe?
don't know. He looks like he's looking at someone's bum.
Oh, man. Sorry,
Don't know who
Nathan.
it is.
No.
What's this now?
Michelle.
What's all this nonsense?
Oh,
You asking me to
knew
give
we'd
a
have
mark?
to get to her at some point.
This is outrageous.
Major character,
Outrageous.
but just
So
so difficult to
unlikable.
like. Yet she has many fans, and I know some of our listeners are big Michelle fans as well. She just irritated the heck out of me. She was so, she's so self-righteous, wasn't she?
She had nothing going for her at all. She thought she was so great, but everything she ever got, and she got from sleeping with a man.
I think you're right.
She was the landlady of the Rovers because she was going out with Steve.
Bullying Steve alongside Liz.
She was the bistro ninja because she was going out with Robert.
Yeah.
She thought she was great at business, and she literally didn't know the first thing
yeah,
about
she was the
it.
world's best wedding organizer, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
she had a wedding. You never saw her once organise a wedding. She only
rarely
ever
did.
she offered to do loads of them and never actually did a single one.
I don't think that's quite true, but
I don't care.
I don't think she's going to be remembered for her wedding organisation skills.
Got her baby at the hospital.
Oh, she did. I mean, talking about babies though, that stuff with Rory, that was kind of almost.
Well, that was heartbraking.
That was so
but
heartbreaking. It
you
just
don't
goes
have
to show
like
that Kim
somebody.
Marsh did a fantastic job with
She did
those
do a
scenes
fantastic job.
because my stony heart broke for this character that I
Didn't like.
utterly
And
despised.
she got shot.
Yes, she did. She got shot by Bat Phelan, didn't she? Oh, brilliant! But she bloody survived it.
Bloody
And
hell.
I'll tell you what, the scene
If she had
with
died,
her
that would've
wedding,
been
the scene
epic.
with her wedding to Robert last year, where she revealed to everybody the text conversations that he and Vicky had
the
together.
vows.
That was
The
great.
vows were great, and they
So-
were like really loopy, and then you realise what she was saying.
There were some. She did have some really good
a
moments,
massive
but
bitch.
she's just she really
Do you remember
was.
that bit when her and Carla were like bullying Sally about her wallpaper? Oh my
yeah.
god!
She was a bit of a bully, wasn't
Her
she?
and Carla together were like the evil witches.
But she was always getting nominated, Kim Marsh, wasn't she, for best actress, best supporting actress, best
She's
storyline.
not a bad actress. I just
I'm
don't
not
like
saying that.
Michelle.
I'm not saying that she is, but she was really kind of a poster girl for Coronation Street
Yeah.
for a period, wasn't
Yeah.
she? Because she was so glamorous.
But everyone. I don't know whether Corrie thought that she was more popular than she was. But
No, she was really popular
Well,
in,
I'd give her a
some
3.
circles, and it's hard because she was following in a way.
I'll give her a 3. Where's
After
the thingy gone?
Becky,
I'm doing it now.
Karen, the wives of Steve McDonald always turn into big characters, unless you're Vicky Arden. But
Well, look, she didn't have
sorry,
a
Michelle.
patch to Becky or Karen.
she's not. She's really not. But tell you what, as somebody who came in when she joined the show, and we were just like, what? Why on earth have they got this girl from Hearsay?
She's no Sarah Harding.
She actually did show that she could act, and
Yeah.
she proved the doubters wrong. She just couldn't win me over
Nope.
with her character. Paul Connor, car crash.
It wasn't that bad.
I don't think he was in it long enough, was he? Before I think it's going to have to be a one there.
Yeah, it was barely.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to see Liam now.
Liam.
Number 300.
Now,
I'm just
see,
thinking
Rob
of him
James
from
Collier went on
Downton.
to be really good in Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
Like one of the best characters in Downton Abbey.
I didn't think much of him in Coronation Street.
But they didn't give
And
him
again,
really
another-
a chance to show his range because he is excellent in Downton Abbey. But in Coronation Street, not really sure what.
He had an affair with Carla, didn't he? Which is what led to him meeting a sticky end at the hands
And
of
he
Tony
is
Gordon.
Liam's dad.
He is Liam Jr.'s dad.
Two.
Yeah, I know there are definitely people who would vote him higher, but he never really, didn't.
He looks a bit like Daniel
work for me.
Radcliffe in that picture.
Oh yeah, he does actually. Put some
It's the
glasses
hair
on him and
and
a
the-
zigzag on
And the
his
little
head.
baby moustache.
Yeah.
Don't know who that is.
factory.
He looks like he's the fifth member of the Beatles.
Now this is an interesting one. So we've got Ali Neeson, but back in the 2000s, he was not Ali Neeson. He was, I can't remember who played him, but he was Alex Neeson, wasn't he?
Yes.
So this is the character that we never thought would be brought back again, because he was brought into it with the baby swap storyline.
Yeah.
So the story was that Michelle
and somebody else.
What was his name?
Swapped their babies over by accident.
What was Michelle's partner called? She kept banging on about him. I forgot.
Zane, Brain.
And yeah, they had their babies swapped at the hospital,
Gregory.
and then Alex, as he was then, turned up. Oh, was it the dad? Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't
But anyway, he wasn't much
They
of a
literally
character
are
back then.
interchangeable, those two boys. Literally interchangeable. They got changed at the hospital by their parents.
I suppose we're rating him for how he was over the last few years.
So this is tricky, because of the two, him and Ryan, Ali is the least interesting one. He got really morose towards the end.
Yeah. He's really rated by fans, isn't he? And I think
he's a good actor.
He is. He's had quite a few. He had quite a few periods where he wasn't in it. He went off to on paternity leave for a bit. Yeah, he got married.
I really enjoyed Ali and Ryan's brotherly friendship, but of the two, I'm glad that it's Ryan that we got left with.
Absolutely. On his own, he just didn't. It didn't
He's
particularly
too
excite
sensible
me.
and like middle class for Coronation Street.
Tell you what,
he probably thinks like a really exciting night is when you go to Waitrose and find the thing that you were going to buy and eat that evening is on sale.
Tell you what though, there is a lingering, dangling thread with him, wasn't it? Because he's responsible for what's his face's death. What was his name? Cormac's dad.
Bane, Gray.
I'm never going to remember what it was. Because he killed him, didn't he? He pulled the fence
he
post
was
out
going
of
to
him.
die anyway.
I know, but he could have saved him. He took the Hippocratic Oath. 3 for him. Fine. Okay, who have we got next?
Do no harm. That means don't
Doreen
take holes out of people's
Fenwick,
faces.
Rita's friend.
No, don't know.
I think I quite liked. I'm going to give her a 2 because she's a bit of a character, but just a minor character. Marcus.
Interesting, because Charlie Condu, very charming. Marcus was sweet and nice. He was a bit like a Billy character. He was just like on the periphery. He was nice and friendly, but then he got involved with Maria, and it all went a bit weird, and it didn't really make sense.
He'd been gay, hadn't he? And he got identified as a gay man who fell in love with a woman, because wasn't he going out with Sean for a bit as well?
Yeah.
When he came into it,
and he didn't want to. He said he wasn't bisexual. He said
no, because
he only liked Maria. So he's a Maria sexual.
That's kind of an interesting story, and I didn't not like him, but he was one of these characters that was just fine for me. I wouldn't mind seeing him back, but I'm not.
No, I'm not bothered.
I'm not clamouring for it either.
I liked him at the time, but I think I got annoyed with the whole Maria thing.
What were we doing?
2.
Yeah, 2 for Marcus. Fair enough. Dan and I assume Harry Mason. They came in and took over the bookies for a bit. Didn't like them. He was the one that Steve ended up pushing down the Rovers steps, and he broke his arm or something, and then Steve got in trouble for it.
You probably would get in trouble.
I really didn't like these characters. I think these are ones for me, and as you don't remember them, then I'm just gonna go and give them big fat ones. Oh, now we have some Mortons.
I always get the Mortons confused with
the Harrises.
Yeah.
So Michael Stark, he'd been in Brookside, hadn't he?
Yeah.
He played Sinbad in Brookside. Apparently, I'd never seen him in it, but everyone was quite excited about him coming in. But the whole Morton family, they passed unnoticed, didn't they? Yeah. They tried so many times to get a decent family unit to move into that house, and they just couldn't strike gold. Even the Nazir, some people would say, but obviously they've stood the test of time a lot more than these ones did. But I mean, Jerry Morton, I'm going between a 1 and a 2 here. I can't remember a whole lot about him. What do you want to give him?
2.
Teresa, she hung around a little bit longer. She went out with Lloyd for a bit, but she was a bit of a nasty piece of work.
Yeah, she was, wasn't she?
But still not very interesting character. I was not sad to see the back of her.
I don't know.
And then we're really scraping the barrel here. Look at the rest of these Mortons. 1 for this one.
No, I like Daryl.
Daryl Morton.
3.
Yeah, and actually Johnny Dixon is a good actor, isn't he? Because we watched him in that Dick and Steve short film.
He's so funny.
Recently.
He is so funny. I would like to have watched a spin-off show with him and Graham Proctor.
He spent a lot of time in his shed in the back garden.
Yeah,
I
he
remember.
lived it. It was his bedroom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, sorry. Oh my God, look at this. Desperately, all these characters. Who are all these bloody Mortons?
Mortons. You look away for 5 minutes and they start breathing.
Don't know who this one is. Roger Stiles.
Oh my God, look who's next.
Because was this another one of Janice's boyfriends, maybe? Oh, Anna.
What can we do with
character.
you, Anna? Again, like Michelle, I did not like Anna at all.
I think we got to like her more towards the end when she was having a breakdown brought on by Pat Phelan. I think we started off finding her quite bland, and I remember, I think we might have done a character profile on her in her early years, and we thought she was just nice and bland and
when we did a character profile of her the first time, we were like, oh, Anna's really nice. She's the sort of person you'd like to hang around with.
Inoffensive.
And then she just turned into this like horrible, nasty, naggy old bitch, and then she just got tormented by Pat Phelan, which was extremely amusing.
Yeah, it made you feel bad laughing at Phelan. You weren't supposed to be ever on Phelan's side during
No,
this.
but you were like, she's annoying. I know, that's not funny. But at the end, she's the one who dispatched Pat Phelan, so that makes her a pretty significant character that ruined the show.
Yeah.
By killing off our favourite character.
What are we saying for this one?
3.
3, not 4.
No, because I don't like her.
She is one of Corrie's few murderers that's still on the loose, isn't she? She's probably shacked up with Ali Neeson somewhere.
I don't know what happened. So she's on the lam again still?
Oh, no, she's not on the lam. She killed Pat and is like, it was self-defence. And Michelle was like, yeah, it was. I think she only said that because Pat shot her.
You're not allowed to just stab somebody.
I know, but she did.
She's naughty.
So I imagine that she's shacked up with Ali Neeson somewhere and they're comparing notes about how to get away with murder.
Well, she's like, I put something in him. And he's like, well, I took something out. I don't know that these methods are going to... It's not consistent, is it? We have to do some more experiments.
Cakes.
Now, I like Daddy Windass.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's not a more significant character than Anna,
He's really not.
I barely remembered.
He was a bit of an Ozzy Osbourne sort of character, wasn't he?
He's like a shambling drunkard.
He was.
With always had a half-smoked cigarette in his fingers.
Yeah, no, whereas Sila Battersby was brought in to be a bit of a replacement Janice, I would say that this guy was supposed to be the Les Battersby follow-up. And it's really hard because you can't just say, here's a new version of a beloved character. And I know Les wasn't beloved by everybody, but they were clearly trying to do this with him. Yeah, I would have liked him to have stayed longer. He just did a disappearing act after Faye showed up, didn't he?
I don't blame him.
Because he didn't want to be a foster dad or something.
She's crap.
Natasha Blake.
Interesting
indeed. But well known for her exit.
Yes.
But not a whole lot else. She was definitely a side character who was promoted to regular. She was in it for 2 years or so, but I'd say only one of those who was on the regular list. I remember she was just hanging around in the salon with Marie and Audrey for what seemed like forever, and I'm thinking, are they ever going to give her something to do? And they did. They put her together with Nick, and then she was out of it. So
all went wrong for her as soon as she started to date our Nick.
Yeah, totally did. She got screen time, but anyway, what do you reckon? 2 for her? Does she get a point there just for the sake of having
she gets a point
good
for her exit
where she
because
goes
it was
and
really, really good.
leaves and tells everybody in Weatherfield what she thinks of them? Fine, 2 for her. Then Jesse Chadwick.
Oh, now he
went out with Eileen, didn't he?
Higher, lower.
Yeah, he was the children's entertainer with the parrot that hated her.
Yeah. What a stupid story.
I didn't like him.
Oh, I didn't mind him. I give him a 2.
Yeah.
I remember him. The thing is, I think that you can get away with a lot if you have an interesting backstory or you're wacky and unusual in some way. And that's the kind of characters that people make fun of Coronation Street for having. But I think that they're an important part of making it feel a bit more like... a bit more variety.
I think he was a bit of a Vernon character to me, though.
Well, he's useless,
a bit of a useless, he hasn't grown up yet kind
useless
of guy.
Article.
And just a bit pathetic, really.
No, I don't remember Luke Strong.
He was working at the factory for a while. He was one of the factory bosses. I think he was the one that diddled Rosie out of all her money that she got, her John Stape Compo money. But he was just, smooth talking, handsome, rugged, but no personality.
He can sell you some deodorant, and that's about it.
Yeah. So was Luke Strong a strong character?
I don't even remember him.
No.
He's got to get 2 then. He was a boss though.
Okay, fine.
Well, if Jessie
Some sort of
Chadwick gets
significance.
2...
And Sian, our last one for today.
Could she have been the first gay wedding on Coronation Street?
They had the wedding, they just didn't quite get to the actual marriage part of the wedding. I quite liked her, and I know she had a huge fan base, didn't she? She and Sophie had some real shippers, but disappeared. And I don't remember
Missing in action.
I think she was
Have you
just.
seen this
I think she
lesbian?
was just nice, but she doesn't rouse any strong feelings from me. She was in it, and I remember the story vaguely, but she's not going down in the Corrie history books, is she? What do you reckon? 2?
No.
2?
2.
Yeah, 2 for her. Okay, well
That's the end.
That's the end of the
that.
2000s. We've got 1 decade left to go.
Oh, thanks for watching, everybody, and if you like that, and you could give us a like or a subscribe, and we'll be back next week for the characters who made their debut and left in the past decade. Until then, cheers.